In this episode, we talk about hiring another chiropractor, hiring a marketing assistant, and most importantly, the belief in you, your staff, and your business. And maybe even a wardrobe. Ready? I'm ready. Yeah, but it's going to fall off. I don't think I'm supposed to tie it.
No, it's not worse.
I mean, I love how that's the one problem with this picture is me tying the thing. Christ. All right. We're recording. Don't cut that out. Keep going.
I'm hiring a digital marketing assistant. Are there any specific questions I should ask?
All right. So we're hiring a marketing assistant. So if you are running a practice right now and you just don't have time and you want to figure out how to grow the business, it's just you, maybe you have an admin. I think the key to hiring for everyone here is to find a marketing assistant. That would be the first hire that I would make. So this question is coming from, this is a question from my mastermind group. And what we found a ton of success with is finding virtual marketing assistants, specifically overseas. If you're in business and you don't have time to put out content, the best thing that you can outsource is organic social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Google, whatever it is, Google My Business. Those are the best ways that you can help to scale at the cheapest price possible, because overseas you can get unbelievably high level employees for relatively cheap compared to what you would pay someone in the US. And so this question is from one of our members asking, what do we ask someone overseas, and what interview questions? So it might be a good time to actually go through a normal process, right? We treat all virtual team members, whether they're in the US, whether they're in Colombia, whether they're in South Africa, whether they're in Australia, we treat them all the same way. What I mean by that is we want to make sure that people not only can do the technical skill, but that they're the right type of person for us, that they have the right core values, that they have the right standards, and we want to screen for that. And so in my business, what we do, no matter what, in-person, virtual, we follow a 3-step process. Step 1, whenever I get candidates for a job, I'm going to do a first 15-minute interview. And in that interview, it's not much more complicated than I ask myself, do I want to talk to them again? That's it. And what that means is are they personable? Do they complain? Are they cheerful? Can they hold a conversation? And if I can do that, then I'll move them on to a second interview. And if you think it's more complicated than it isn't, you'll be shocked. The second interview is the one where I ask about our standards, about our core values. I want to see how they would handle situations, how they have handled situations. And then if they make it through that interview, that's when I go to the technical aspects of the job. That's when I want to know, do they know how to edit reels? Do they know how to run ads? Do they know how to edit content? And so with a marketing assistant, I'm going to put them through that same 3-level process. And on the third interview, I'm going to do a working interview with them to make sure that they can do the thing that I'm actually hiring them to do. So that is an overview of the process, but specifically we want to make sure that we can get technical competence, but that is the last step, not the first step.
I hate the idea of being pushy. How do I grow my practice without feeling like I'm selling people something?
I think this is the idea of feeling pushy or sleazy in your sales is something that plagues our profession very much. But here's a mindset shift as far as sales and communication when it comes to your practice. At the end of the day, what you're trying to do is help people clarify, help people think a bit, and help people understand what you offer and why it might be different than people around you. And then at the end of the day, and if you're sitting at your desk, write this comment down, write this line down, you're helping people make a decision. You're helping them make a better decision about their health. And all you want to do is give them the information. You want to help clarify how important it is to them. And then if you believe genuinely deep down that you're the best option for them, all you have to do is tell them. That's it. So if you feel like you're pushy, it's probably because you're pushing too much. If you feel like you're sleazy, the only thing I could say to you is, are you sleazy? Because I'm not sleazy. And because I'm not sleazy, I don't ever feel sleazy. And so for me, it's making sure that people are clear. It's giving them enough information so that they can make a good decision. And then I never feel sleazy about it because genuinely I am not a sleazy person. I simply am telling them what I think is best for them. Sick. The hat is sick,
Are you gonna
Stefan.
explain why you're wearing it?
It's the intro.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, what are we doing? If we don't give me another hat. People give me one. Want this one better? We like this one? We'll do this one.
I mean, I like this one.
Outfit change. Gotta get this thing. I don't know what any of this stuff means, but what is this called? Anna? Slytherin. I'm a Slytherin. Slithery. I'm a sleazy Slytherin. How about that one? What is the question?
I've never hired a chiropractor before, and they asked about health insurance, salary, 401k. How do I figure this out?
Again, another question. One of the most beautiful things about our community is people are asking these questions now because people are growing to the point where they have to add and expand team. And that question, it's the right question, and we have to know about it. And I know that many people out there watching this are also concerned about it. And the reason why they won't hire, can't hire, or haven't hired is because they don't know the answers to these questions. And while those questions are important and we do need to learn those, it is not the reason why someone is going to come work for you or with you. I think that this is where the leadership conversation comes in. This is where the visionary conversation comes in. We are very small businesses. We are small practices, and most of us are solo and we're not established. I think we have to understand that we are never going to compete with anyone on health benefits, on 401ks, on all the different things, the bells and whistles that you get in a big corporate setting or in a big established practice. The thing that you are going to win on is your vision. The thing that you are going to sell someone on is where they can go. The thing that you're going to help people the most with is help them find a place within your vision, because you're going so fast, so far that someone's like, I got to attach myself to that guy and girl. And I think that oftentimes the 401k and the insurance, we get lost in the sauce. We get lost in the weeds. And because of that, we never actually answer the questions that are most valuable. I tell my clients, this is the same thing as patients not coming to see you because they want to know about copays and deductibles. It's the same thing. It's like we get lost in the details. Whereas what we have to do is help understand, where do you want to go? What is it that you really want? What do you want to become? Because if I can help you do that, the rest of it will take care of itself. And so for many of us that are thinking about some of those details, what I would just encourage you to do is get above it a little bit. Help people understand how you can help them grow. Help see the vision going forward. Because that is the thing that people are going to buy into, not the 401k, not the health benefits. It's important, but it isn't the only thing.
I'd love to grow, but my staff isn't ready. How do I scale when I'm the only one who really wants it?
How do you scale when the only one that really wants it? Stefan, can we go that way a little bit? I'm going to ask you that question. What do you think? Why? Let me ask you, because you've grown with me tremendously. Why do you feel like you wanted to grow with us as we've grown and we're never resistant or hesitant to it?
I mean, it's a lot of what you just said. I think the biggest thing for me is you've been very clear with us that we are going somewhere. We don't know what it might look like. It could change very quickly, but we're going to grow. We're going to do something really, really great. And I want you guys to be along the ride with me, but so long as you grow as well. So number one, like the opportunity's always been very clear. And then the second thing that I've always respected is that while we're not clear about, I always say it, every year is different. And we just hired someone. I told her the same thing. I was like, honestly, I can look back at whatever 6-7 years that it's been, and I'm like, oh yeah, that happened this year, and this happened the next year, and it was just always different. And so while I don't expect that, I just know that we're always being presented with different challenges, and I like that. It's exciting to me. So that's been something. The last thing that I'll say, which I know you just spoke about this recently, is that when we've taken on new challenges, I used to think, I don't know if I can do it. I don't think that anymore. Now I have enough belief in myself that we're going to figure it out. But that only came because you believed in me more than I believed in me. And you've always made that clear.
I think that's the answer. The one thing I would add to that is I often separate. One of the things you have to do with people and positions is separate the two. Because there'll be times when people come to us and say, I don't know if I can do this, or I'm not sure about this, and I'm not sure about that. And I want to listen to them and have empathy for them. full stop. Separately, I'm also very aware, based on where I want the business to go and what the business requires, of what this position needs. And what I always tell people is, I understand and I hear you. I'm also aware that this is what this position needs. And if we're not in congruency with that, or we can't keep up with that, then something has to change. And so for me, it takes the emotion out of it. It very much says, like, the position needs to do this. Here's what is required. And it is yours if you want to do that. And it is also okay if not. And so I think that's another tactic, very tactically, that I want to make sure it's separate. Oftentimes it becomes very much like mixed together. This person is a chiro with you, but they don't want to work this much. It's like whole separate. They don't want to work this amount of time. The position requires this. Are they willing to match that? If they're not, then we have a problem. But let's just make sure that it stays separate. I think that's very, very important to say, like, this is the position, this is the person. They are separate entities.
How do you decide when to push a staff member for growth and accountability versus when to back off, especially when they are resistant to change or have a fragile ego?
I think we all have fragile egos, to be honest with you. Part of the job of a leader, again, when I hear that statement, they have a fragile ego, that is, in my opinion, a lack of leadership. Because what we are saying is that we are not in control of that. If you're the leader of the business, it doesn't matter what their ego is. They're either going to figure that out to get what is required for the business, or they're not going to be a part of the business. Them having a fragile ego is irrelevant to the conversation. Now, anytime someone comes to me and they're like, I don't know about this, I can't do this, I'm not sure about that, going back to the belief, a lot of times it's them protecting themselves, that they simply do not believe in themselves enough to be able to push forward, which is where I step in, and you'll never see me more angry when people talk shit about themselves. And what I often say to them is, like, you can do this. You are capable. You're not overwhelmed. You absolutely can do this. You just have to decide if you want to do this. And so that is a situation very much where I turn it back. I turn the tables back on them, and I let them know very clearly, like, you absolutely can, and you are capable, and everything you're saying is not true. You just have to decide if you want to play the game or not. And it's okay if you want to back off, but, like, I'm not going to accept that out of you, out of the person. And when you do that, again, they now get to see it as you do and make the decision if they want to continue to push or not. And not everyone does, and that's okay. I hope you enjoyed this episode and the hat change. I want to answer your questions on Instagram. We're going to post this on Instagram stories, in my DMs. Let me know, because we're going to continue to do this Q&A, the Ask Justin show, and I want to answer your questions. See you next time.